What if the solution to one of modern farming's biggest headaches wasn't some brand new drug, but a tiny molecule that's, well, been there all along, working inside the animal? Today, we're going to dive into the science behind butyric acid and how it's completely changing the game for poultry health. This is the question that keeps farmers and animal nutritionists up at night, right? How do you keep your birds healthy and thriving when one of your main tools is suddenly off the table? This single question has kicked off a revolution in how we think about animal nutrition.
For a long time, the answer was pretty simple: antibiotic growth promoters, or AGPs. But, as we all know, a huge wave of public health concern came along and just completely changed the rules.
And man, when you look at the timeline, you see just how fast things changed. What was considered a miracle tool back in the 50s started raising red flags by the 90s, and then, boom, the EU's total ban in 2006. That created this massive void and left this huge question mark. How on earth could the industry support animal gut health without the thing it had relied on for 50 years?
Okay, so this is where the story gets really interesting. The search for an answer didn't lead to some new synthetic drug in a lab. Nope, it led right back to nature, right inside the gut itself.
And that answer is a little molecule called butyric acid. So what is it? Put simply, it's what good gut bacteria make when they break down fiber. And it's basically rocket fuel for the cells that line the intestines. A healthy gut will make its own, sure, but the stress of modern production can really throw that process off balance.
Okay, wow. So you look at this and it seems complicated, right? There are lines going everywhere. But don't worry. You don't need a PhD to get it. All of this complexity really just boils down to three key benefits. Let's call them its three superpowers.
So here's the bottom line. First, it basically builds a fortress wall in the gut to prevent that leaky gut problem. Second, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory, which saves the bird a ton of energy that would otherwise be wasted. And third, it helps the gut grow longer villi. You know, those little fingers that absorb all the nutrients. It's that simple. Stronger wall, less inflammation, better absorption.
So problem solved, right? We've got this awesome natural molecule, we just add it to the feed and we're good to go. Well, not so fast. This is where we hit a major roadblock. As it turns out, butyric acid is a real pain to work with.
In its raw, free form, it's got some serious issues. For starters, it has this really unpleasant smell. I mean, bad enough that it can actually make the birds not want to eat. It's also super volatile, so it can just disappear into thin air during feed production. But the real kicker, the biggest problem of all, is that it gets absorbed way too fast, way too early in the digestive system. And looking at the poultry digestive tract here, you can see exactly why that's such a huge problem. This free butyric acid gets absorbed way up here, in the crop and the gizzard. In fact, over 90% of it is gone before it ever even has a chance to reach the small intestine, which is exactly where you want it to be working its magic. So the real puzzle wasn't what to use, but how to use it. How do you get this amazing molecule to the right place at the right time? And this is what sparked some seriously clever thinking in the world of animal nutrition. So the first big idea was honestly pretty genius in its simplicity. Let's put a protective coating on it. Scientists figured out how to take butyrate salts, which are more stable, and wrap them up in a tiny little shell of fat. Think of it like putting the good stuff in a tiny armored car to get it safely through the dangerous parts of the upper gut. So how does this little armored car know where to stop and unload? Well, it's all about biology. The coating is made of fat, and the bird's own body produces fat-digesting enzymes called lipases, mostly down in the small intestine. So when the coated particle gets there, the enzymes break down the coating, and voila, the butyrate is released right where it can do the most good. Now, coatings were a massive leap forward, for sure, but science is never satisfied, right? The thinking shifted to this idea: what if we could build a smarter molecule from the ground up, not just slap on a smarter coating? What if the delivery system was built right in? And that brings us to this, Tributyrin. It's what's known as a triglyceride, and the design is just elegant. Think of it like this. You've got this glycerol backbone, and it's holding on to count them, three molecules of butyric acid. This structure makes it super stable, it has zero odor, and it basically acts like a Trojan horse, sneaking a huge payload of butyrate deep into the gut. And when you put them all side by side, it's really a night and day difference. You can see why Tributyrin is seen as such a game changer. It has way more active ingredient than most coated products, absolutely no odor, and it's incredibly stable. But look at that last row. That's the most important part.
It gets released along the entire small intestine. It's a slow, steady delivery that provides benefits all the way through.
Okay, so the science is cool, the chemistry is really elegant, but at the end of the day, there's only one question that matters. Does it actually work out on the farm? Well, the proof, as they say, is in the performance.
How about a number like this? Plus 26%. That's what one study found, a 26% improvement in body weight gain for broilers getting Tributyrin compared to those that weren't. That's a huge deal in this industry.
And here's what that looks like on a chart. You see that big jump in body weight gain, right there. But maybe even more important, look at the feed conversion ratio, the FCR. A lower number here is what you want. It means the birds are getting more out of every single bite of feed, and that translates to better efficiency, lower costs, and a more sustainable operation.
So we can see the results. Better growth, better efficiency. But how? What's actually going on inside the bird's gut that's making all this happen? Let's connect the dots. And this, right here, is the proof. It's beautiful. On one side, you can see the structure of healthy intestinal villi, those long finger-like things that absorb nutrients. Now look at the chart. Birds getting Tributyrin had significantly taller, healthier villi. It's not just a theory. It's a direct physical change to the gut's engine, making it better at its job.
It really just lays out this perfect, simple chain reaction. The smart delivery gets the butyrate where it needs to go. That leads to taller villi, which means a bigger surface area for absorbing nutrients, which, you guessed it, leads directly to better growth and performance. It all clicks into place. You know, this whole story, from seeing a huge industry problem to understanding a natural molecule to then engineering a clever way to deliver it, this is a perfect snapshot of where animal nutrition is going. It's about working smarter and working with the animal's own biology. And it really makes you wonder, what other natural solutions are out there just waiting for us to figure out how to unlock them?